Hustle Hard Project Podcast, episode 11. We're here with John from Sacred Grounds Coffee. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. Yeah,
this
good
is
to be here.
awesome. This is awesome. Let's quickly start about your origin story, how the company started,
Yeah.
and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, I mean, Sacred Grounds was an idea that was bouncing around my head for about just several years,
Mhm.
and we were doing property management. Before that, I was working as a property manager down in New York City, and we finally kind of just sold the company.
Yeah.
And the idea was something I wanted to do for a long time.
Okay.
And so once we got out of property management, first thing I did was start Sacred Grounds.
Cool.
And originally it was going to start as a cafe.
Yeah.
But the way the town was with zoning and stuff like that, I couldn't do the cafe, so I ended up flipping my business model upside down. So I did start as a product,
Yeah.
and that's where we are today.
Okay.
So
Okay. That's cool. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
just a little different, you know.
And you guys are in Sherman, right?
In Sherman, yeah.
Okay. And what always intrigues me, because we're both entrepreneurs, and we talked about this a little before, but it's, what drives you to do what you do and to do it every day and to keep pushing, and where do you think that comes from, or what is the vision there? You know what I'm saying? What is what drives you?
Well, I think first is that I think a lot of people say that if you can visualize your business,
Yeah.
you can make it happen.
Yeah.
I think I had a vision off the
Mhm.
bat that I wanted to come out with a product,
Yeah.
and I just kind of went with the vision, and I think like anybody else, you just kind of keep driving at it and keep just doing it
One day at a time.
baby steps. So I started out very small. I run my business really lean.
Mm-hmm.
So it's self-funded. I never took any
That's good.
capital
That's
for
good.
anybody, so
Yeah.
it was just
No debt.
start out
Huge.
small.
Yeah.
My shop used to be empty,
Yeah.
and then we just start slowly building from there. So
lead with revenue and kind of just grow
so
naturally.
only buy
organically.
what I can afford. That's it. So
Very smart. Very smart.
It's tough because people come in and say, "The hell is this place?" And but eventually now people come in and say,
It takes time to happen overnight.
it looks like a full shop now. So
Many great companies have started, in garages and like an Amazon garage, everything.
yeah, I would say, but as far as being driven, tired of working for somebody else. I mean, my brother and I owned our business, so
Yeah.
that was our first kind of step into owning our own business.
Right.
But I think the drive is that I don't want to go back to corporate
Yeah.
jobs.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that I don't really, I want to do this for my family.
Yeah.
And hopefully have create.
Like a legacy there.
Yeah, sort of. So they can maybe hopefully take over the business one day. Who knows?
I think it's great. I think that's what it's all about. I come from a line of that too, so it's like my parents, my grandparents, and before it just so it's seemed
Yeah,
like it kind of
love it.
built into the DNA, if you will,
That's great.
And it's like we were saying, it's much rather work hard for yourself for 100 hours a week than for somebody else for 40, unless they're doing something you really love. There's different ways to go, but
It's almost like the difference between renting a home and
exactly,
Yeah.
same idea. You're not going to care as much. That's actually never thought about that. That's actually perfect because you're never going to care as much unless
You're not going to care as much, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm not to use that. That's really good. That makes perfect sense. Now the name I love, Sacred Grounds. Is there any deeper meanings to it, or is it Sacred Ground Coffee? But I think it's a great name. What is?
Well, a few things. I'm sort of a religious guy, so
Okay.
that I felt like I was being drawn to the spot. I was telling my wife that this spot, I felt like that's our spot. I moved into a spot that was dormant for about 7 years.
Okay.
So I felt like we were being drawn to that spot.
Yeah.
The other thing is that Sacred Grounds is sort of like a lot of different things. So I mean, there's we're pretty much a green company.
Yeah.
I'd like to look into getting ourselves certified green, but our
Okay.
packaging is all compostable
Yeah.
bags.
Mm-hmm.
Even the things that we do, I buy trash bags that actually what they call controlled life cycle plastic trash bags.
Okay.
So the bags will end up disappearing.
Oh, wow.
So I guess the idea is we want to really have a green sort of low impact on the environment, and then obviously Sacred Grounds is sort of a play on words. We're actually a whole bean coffee company,
Mhm.
so we don't retail ground coffee. We wholesale ground coffee.
Sure. Yeah.
But all the bags bags that are in the supermarkets are whole bean.
Okay.
So it's a little bit ironic, but we feel that you only want to grind the coffee at the last. It's like the final destination.
All right.
So it's like the sacred part of it. You know, don't pre-grind the coffee because honestly, ground coffee is usually stale by the time you get it.
Really? Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's something I know nothing about. How long does it take? How long is that process? Like, what does it look like if we go to your place, and how does that?
Well, so if you really want to like go way back,
Yeah.
The process of by the time the plant actually gets to the roaster.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were to plant a coffee seedling right now, it's gonna take 5 years
Oh wow.
for that to even produce any kind of fruit.
Jeez.
And then, so assuming that you produce enough fruit to make coffee out of that plant. So it's 5 years, and you have to process the beans. Usually, if you just set it out, it could probably take like about a month. Depends on what the process is, but they're gonna dry it out after they do the wash processing, or if you leave it out in the sun, it still takes And then they pick through all the coffee by hand. Most people do.
Yeah.
And then they get shipped out to So by the time I get it, it's
Jeez, I did not know
the
that.
entire coffee process is
Yeah.
mind blowing because
Yeah, I had no
we
clue.
take it for granted because we just want
can drink it and whatever.
But the process of getting a cup of coffee is absolutely
It's
insane
nuts,
if
yeah.
you really think about it.
So do you have like now wholesale? We have some stuff here. We have a smoothie namesake grounds and their cold brew, which is pretty popular. What's your most popular item that people love, or is there a few different ones?
Yeah, so we have our Guatemalan coffee for some reason
Yeah.
is just sort of taken off.
Yeah.
That's probably the most I guess the one that sells the most for
Okay.
sure. Not far behind is Ted's Blend, which is a blend that we created in honor of a customer that passed
Nice.
away.
Okay.
And then Ethiopia Yurgachev, but
Yeah.
they all do pretty well in the supermarket. Some do better than others, obviously, but the Guatemalan seems to be the one that
How many
sells the
different
most.
flavors? If that's the word.
Right now, we just released 2 more. So we have technically we have 13 retail coffees, which is 12 active retail coffees right now.
Okay.
The 13th is Komodo Dragon, which was
These names are great.
it was great, but it was we didn't make that one up. But it's a
Okay.
great name for a coffee.
Yeah.
But Komodo Dragon comes from Flores, Indonesia, and it's just it hasn't been available to us
Gotcha.
as an organic and fair trade coffee. So,
Okay.
which is another part of our business, by the
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
We only deal
I
with
see it on the shirt. Yeah.
organic and fair trade
Okay.
coffee
That's awesome, man. That's great.
because we don't, it's a very sort of particular kind of.
Yeah, no, I think that's awesome. What did I want to ask you about the cold brew? Is it just the chocolate blend you guys have, or is there other options?
Well, we can make any coffee
Yeah.
into a cold brew,
Okay.
and we
Alright.
have, but typically I have about 4 that we're dealing with right now out in the marketplace. So we have Chocolate Bomb,
Yeah.
which is I think the one we have
Here,
here.
yes.
We have Black and Tan,
Okay.
which is our Mexican coffee, but we
Mm.
we mix dark roast and light roast
Okay.
together. So it has almost like a Black and Tan effect. We also have Awakening, which is a breakfast blend that we turned into a cold brew, and Supernatural, which is the other one. So.
Love it. Yeah.
And Supernatural is their dark roast, but it's that's I think New Morning Market prefers Supernatural.
Yeah,
mostly.
I enjoy dark roast too. So speaking of New Morning, I know you guys have a lot of stuff going on there.
Yeah.
Where else can people find if they're in the area, in the greater Danbury area?
In Danbury area. I mean,
Yeah.
we're at Chamomile, which is over
Yeah, sure.
on Newtown Road,
Right.
and then outside of that, we're at all the Caroluzzi's locations.
Okay.
I'm just trying to think what else is in this.
How many
area.
stores are you guys in totally now? Mostly
Oh,
is it supermarkets is the main
We're in specialty
market.
specialty markets, mostly like
morning
the,
type, chamomile type, yeah.
like privately owned
Yeah.
supermarkets, that kind of thing. I don't know off the top of my head, but it's probably about 20 or 25
Okay.
supermarkets.
Yeah.
I have to go back and look.
How's that
on the
process
list.
of getting into? Was that easy to get into these stores, or like the big box chains are hard, right?
Yeah, I mean,
big
actually,
corporate structure, and it's,
I'll be honest, I'm kind of avoiding the bigger
Yeah,
stores
yeah.
because I think we have a better
yeah, I
niche for
agree.
that.
Yeah,
I've been told by a lot of people that you can get really lost in those stores.
I'm sure.
And a lot, I won't name any names, but
Yeah.
if we go to like one of the bigger store, like the one down the street, for
Right,
instance,
right.
you know, people aren't really looking for that in that
No.
store. You know, it's kind of like you're looking for the big brand names over there.
Yeah.
They do have aisles that have specialty
Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
foods,
Yeah.
but to try and get into that, you usually have to go to like a regional office, and that's
Yeah, so
very
I'm
complicated.
sure it's very complicated. Very long process, I'm sure.
But for the supermarkets that we're in,
Mhm.
you know, some were easy and some were hard. You know,
Yeah.
some you have to kind of pick at them a bit, but
Yeah, for sure.
I think the majority of it is just we kind of just present ourselves. I walk in
Yeah.
like I'm here. You know,
Right, yeah.
I don't get dressed up in a suit and tie. I think it's.
Well, this is the suit and tie.
Yeah.
I say this is my uniform every day. I wear the same here.
I don't think there's any reason to
No.
present yourself as something else. I think if I
Oh,
went in
yeah.
there in a suit,
Yeah, it's not you. It's not the company.
I'm faking it.
It's a show. Yeah, it's not authentic.
This is the real me.
I love that too. You know. Yeah, I've always felt like that. You know, I never thought just be you, and that's you, and it's great. And that's the company. You know, you guys aren't wearing suits.
Yeah, I'm not
Or-
trying to tell
Yeah.
like fool anybody. Like
Yeah, no.
you know, hey,
Yeah.
got our coffee.
yeah. Yeah, if I had to wear it, it'd be the joke around. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
joke.
I think early days I did kind of.
Yeah.
I wore like a collar shirt and did wear like a jacket, but that was early on. But
Of course,
now I've just been kind of going in.
And just be you, and that's part of the brand. You know.
Yeah.
I love it.
For sure.
Last question. This is for any entrepreneurs out there. Starting out, could you go back in time? Would you give yourself any advice? Do you think you had to go through all the things you went through to get to where you are, or is there anything you would change?
I would say, yeah. I mean, going back, it's there's you always make mistakes. You know?
Of course.
There are some things I would probably not offer as a service that we were kind of dabbling in back then. But there's always things that I think I could have done better.
Yeah.
I think some of the choices that we made were good. You know, when you make certain choices and then you don't really see the
Right.
results until later. So you
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
have to kind of keep going with it and see what happens. But
That is true.
but yeah, I mean, off the top of my head, I mean, I probably would have. I guess the one big thing is that I was very naive when I first started the business, and I bought a roaster that was pretty small, and there was no way I was going to be able to sustain the business on that roaster.
Get another one.
So we had to buy a second
Mhm.
roaster, but that was a mistake. But I don't regret it because now I have two roasters and I
Yeah.
can do more volume that way, which is great. And I actually use both roasters at the same time, so I can do.
Yes, now you can do more.
If I gotta try and hustle and get
Yeah,
some stuff out,
that's what it's about.
I got two roasters to do it. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's great, but you have to make the mistakes. You know, you don't know. So it's like.
Well, I think the great thing about
Make
making
learn.
mistakes is not making it again.
Exactly. Don't do it again. Don't make the same one again. Awesome. Well, thanks for coming
Yeah,
on.
man. Appreciate being
yeah,
here.
It's
Thank
so
you, man.
great. Lastly, any plugs? Where can we find you on Instagram or website?
Yeah, we're on Instagram. Sacred Grounds CT
Yeah.
is our screen name, I guess.
Yeah.
We do mostly Instagram stories. I don't do
Yeah,
a whole lot
yeah.
of news feed stuff, but every once in a while, I think it's important. I'll put a news feed.
Yeah, stories are good.
Yeah, and then I
That's all
probably
we
should
do.
be doing more news feed stuff, but
Who knows? The algorithm changes
been
daily.
really busy lately. So.
Yeah, that's good. You don't have much time to do it. So that's the idea.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
the stories are easy. I can
Yeah,
do those
banging
pretty
out there.
quickly.
Beautiful. Well,
Yeah.
hey, this was great.
Thank you, man.
Got
Yeah,
it.
great to be here.
Thanks for watching, guys. Hustle Hard Project with Sacred Grounds. We'll see you soon. Bye. Cool, man.
Cool.
Beautiful.
Nice,
Beautiful.
man.
Yeah,
Thank
that
you.
was fun. I'm just gonna get rid of my notes. I don't even need it. I just
Yeah.
like to go where you go, and it's perfect. You know, like
Yeah, it's
that rent. That's the exact perfect.
Isn't that
like
kind of like
nobody's? I've never heard that. It's so simple, but it's like exactly right.
it's